All right, welcome to another video. We're going to be able to finish up this part two today. I think I'm going to put on some lighting here. It's pretty dark in here. Got some lighting in the back, but I have a lamp here that I can put on. That might help things. I mean, it's causing glare. I don't know. I'm not technically a YouTuber. This is just what I do in my spare time, which I do other things too. This isn't all I do in my spare time. It's just a small part of my spare time. All right, so we are moving on to remote migration. So finally, let's apply the migrations to the databases on Heroku. First, though, we need to add the details of the staging and production databases to config.py file. To check if we have a database set up on the staging server, we're going to run this. Okay, now this is interesting because we've got, okay, yeah, so we're going to be using a different app. We're not using this word count app, or at least not the naming. We might actually use the code in that eventually. But I want to work on this wet bulb warnings project, so I'm going to keep using the same naming. I can adjust the color on this. This is a LED light, so maybe there's a better color. Make it look better. I don't know. Uh, I guess the white light is fine. All right, so let's try this command here, but we're gonna, instead of using the word count stage, we're gonna use the apps I already have. So we'll do a Heroku config to take a look at those apps. So here they are. We've got prod and we've got staging. So this is going to be for staging. Oops, I accidentally used the wrong. I just blindly typed out what they had in the tutorial. Okay, so yeah, this looks good. Make sure to replace word stage with the name of your staging repo. Okay, I did that. Since we don't have a database environment variable, we'll need to add the Postgres add-on to the staging server. To do so, run the following command. Oops. Okay, and then likewise, we got to replace that placeholder in the tutorial for the actual name we're using. Okay, so yeah, it looks this we got no red text here, so yeah, it looks like we're good to go on that. Now their database wasn't empty. Oh, no, it is. So it looks like they have the same output that I have. So hobby-dev is the free tier of the Heroku PostGRES add-on. So hopefully that's the one I'm using. Yep, that's the one I'm using. Now, when we run Heroku config dash app word count dash stage again, we should see the connection settings for the database. I'm going to actually change this to red light because I think that's supposed to help you sleep, but I'm going to go to sleep soon. But now that just doesn't look right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This is good. I think. I don't know. Okay. All right. That's fine. So next step will be um, so next we need to commit the changes you've made to Git and push to your staging server. So let's pull up the staging server just so we can see that. So colon and then it's oh, I think it was HTTPS. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. Okay. So we need to commit the changes that we've made. They're not including instructions for that. Um, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and do the Git workflow that I have memorized through my experience with Git. So we're gonna do a Git add dot Git commit dash m, and then we'll say finishing part 2 of the learning path. And we'll do a git push, and then it's going to be staging master. So they used stage for the name of their remote repo, but I used staging, so I just got to swap it out for the appropriate term. Run the migrations that we created to migrate our staging database by using the Heroku run command. Oh no! Push rejected. Why? Master pre-receive hook declined. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so we could not find a version of Click. So, um, yeah, okay, so let's just take that requirement. Let's just take that out and just have it do whatever version it can find of Click. And it's going to be staging master because it's the name of the remote repository and then the name of the remote branch in the remote repository. Okay, so it looks like we got another problem here. We can't find a Limbic 165, so we'll try that same strategy. We'll go ahead and um, remove that specific requirement and let it just go with whatever it can successfully install. Gem make work, please. And if you do a git remote -v, you can see exactly to which URL you'll be pushing things. I'm not sure if you can just put in the URL instead of the the name that you assigned to the URL. That would be a bit more clear. It would be a lot more typing though. So this way is fine. It's a little bit, I think, difficult for beginners to catch on to because just the idea, especially if you're from a network engineering background, because um, if you're comfortable with network engineering, you're really comfortable with URLs and IP addresses and that sort of thing. So to have a macro for an IP address, which is essentially what you're doing here, can be a bit confusing, and you can kind of not have a clear sense about what this actually means. Like, is that the name of the branch? Is that the name of is that another command? Like am I push staging? It's like, the fact that it's a IP address is just not clear the way it's set up, and I wish it were clearer. I think beginners would have an easier time with Git if that were made clearer. But at the same time, definitely don't want to have to type out all this every single time. So it's nice to have a shorthand. All right, and we're going to push it to the master branch. And hopefully we won't have a problem with that requirements file anymore. Oh, okay, so we got the same problem here, but we got it for data classes. All right, so we'll edit data classes. Which is going to be here. Okay, so we're getting close. It looks like we've got at least one more here, but this is pretty easy because it just shows it right there. So this package resources is the next one we've got to remove the specific requirement for, and just let it download whichever version it happens to find. Yeah, and we can see 0.0.0. That's probably not even a valid version. I'm not sure how that got in there. I think it was in the tutorial. So no tutorial is perfect. This one, for the most part, has been pretty good. So they're allowed to make a few mistakes. It's going to be staging, master. Okay, so it looks like we got another one. It's the package pkg-resources. Okay, so I think a problem here we can solve just by removing it, because I think it's uh, a package that will be installed uh, when another package is installed. So we don't need it to be included in the file there. So I'm just gonna have just like that. So origin, or not origin, staging, master. All right. Getting closer though. I remember I think I dealt with this before. Um, yeah, typically it's a good idea, I think, to pip freeze to your requirements.txt, but I mean, we can see sometimes you're better off just loading up that txt file with the bare minimum requirements, um, and just letting it sort itself out in the installation of those requirements, all of the dependencies and everything. So you can handle updates. Sometimes it's a frozen snapshot in time just isn't able to be recreated in the future because of changes to dependencies. But typically, uh, programmers have dealt with that, and if you just let it do its thing, it'll do it successfully, as we see happened here. So let's move on to the next command. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if they, okay, yeah, this is still the staging. So we'll copy this so it gets added. We'll do Heroku run Python manage pydb grade app. Come on, let's do it. Come on, come on, come on. So something happened here. I probably just didn't type it correctly. Yep, okay. So same thing I had before. I did not type this part correctly. Ooh, okay, we are connecting. This looks good. Oh, so I had another typo. I used a dash instead of a dot. But the command was accepted the first time. It just couldn't access that file because that file did not exist. So it can access the file now, but we've got a problem here. No such module can't load SQL, alchemy, .dialects, PostGRES. Uh, so this is line 17 in manage.py. This manager.run is having problems, but it's having problems because it doesn't it can't load the, yeah, no such module. Um, so it can't load this here. So let's check our requirements.txt file one more time here. Okay, so we do have SQL alchemy again. Let's remove the requirement on, or the specific version on that again. That might work itself out if I remove that. All right, and then I've got the next command queued up in my history. Once this completes, and I'm pretty sure this will complete successfully, there might be some issues with dependencies. It's trying to, or I might have to remove some of the dependencies from the file and let it just install it through trying to install some other module, so specifically feeding it to it. Okay, so but that's not the case. It looks like everything's good. So we'll run command 65 again. Okay, and we got the same problem here, so it wasn't due to that. Okay. All right, so let's open this file and let's go to line 343. Uh, it looks like this file doesn't exist. That's weird. What happened to that file? I mean, I guess we know what the plugin here is here. Let's go right to Google. I kind of wish I hadn't closed that. Oh, okay. So it looks like the problem is in my app folder, and it's got to say Postgres SQL. All right, so let's try that. So I'll use Visual Studio. That makes things a little bit easier. All right, I guess it's not this file. Maybe it's the config file? No? The manage file? I feel like it's not in a file. Yeah, I think it's one of my environment variables, actually. Yeah, so it would be here. Uh, oh, sorry, actually here. Oh, that's what I have. Okay, so where, let's try this. We're going to do PostGRES, and we're going to search for that. Okay, so we do have some results here. Okay, we got one there. Here. There. Huh. All right, so that answer didn't seem relevant to me. Oh, you know what? Oh, that would be my env here. But we can see I already do have the PostgreSQL SQL. But let's see which file this string is in. Okay, we didn't find that string at all. No, huh? Why is it, one thing I don't understand is why is it trying to, because it looks like this corresponds to this sort of statement here, but I don't know if it's cut off or like why is it trying to get PostGRES instead of PostGRES SQL? I don't see anywhere in the files where it's trying to do that. Looks like it's only going for the PostGRES QL, which the help says is what it needs to go after. So yeah, I'm not sure where this came from. Let's try a search just using grep. Oh my, okay, lots of results. Okay, so we've got a file here. Nothing. Huh. Okay, nothing. Oh, that's too bad. I'm confused. Why is it saying that it's trying to load a module for which there is no statement that loads that module? It's just loading a random module that nobody told it to load. And doing it is breaking everything. Yeah, it's saying it can't load a plugin that there's no call to load. We do have a number of files with this SQL alchemy in it. Um, and we do have a number of import statements that deal with that, but we don't have any. I mean, maybe if I tried changing that to, yeah, let me try changing this. Let me try this. This should really clear things up. So we're gonna open Python, and we're gonna go from SQL alchemy.dialects.post GRE SQL import JSON. So I need a Y. Okay, so that worked. Rules that out. Let's see the other one. We can just copy it. Okay, that worked too. So it's neither of the import statements. I am so confused. I don't even know like what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do something that pertains to an app that I'm not running. So like the app that they're using has a database that I'm trying to do stuff to, but none of my code uses a database. So I mean, maybe that's the problem right there. Is just because I'm not using that word counting app, it's just too far different to have it match up with the tutorial. So I guess I might be willing to take the L on this and just move on. And hopefully that won't come back and eat me later. Um, so, you know what? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the L, move on. I might not even try it for production too. I don't think I'm even going to try it for production because it didn't work for staging. So notice how we ran the upgrade, not the init or migrate commands like before. We already have our migration file set up and ready to go. We just need to apply it against the database. Now let's do the same for production. Set up a database for your production app on Heroku, just like you did for staging. Actually, we can do all of this for our production. And then hobby dev. Okay, so I think I probably, yeah, I typed a bunch of things wrong. My keyboard, I've got like a pretty nice cherry mechanical keyboard here. Well, I've got a cheaper one. Um, but okay, but I eat at my desk, so I was eating a plum and it got all over the keyboard. So like some of the keys aren't super reliable. Okay. Push. So let's do a get remote dash v again so we see which our uh, uh, prod is set up as. So we named it prod and we're going to go master. Yeah, I wish somebody would explain to me why we need to migrate our database after we've set it up. I guess I'm really just not that strong at databases. So maybe there's a real Python learning path for databases. Let's do a search and try to find one. So we'll say database. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So here we can have. Let's see if there's a learning path. Ah, here we go. Learning path for data collection and storage. That might be a good one for me to learn about databases. Yeah, perfect. We can even have these tags here. Oh yeah, this would be absolutely perfect. Yeah, and this will explain to me like because this is like somebody like me who's like an intermediate, uh, who's not like a Python guru by any means. It's just like, well, we can just read and write from CSV files. Like, why do you need this complicated database that gives you error after error that sends you down a rabbit hole of Googling? You can even just use like a spreadsheet. Like, I just don't understand what a database is even for anymore. So I think this will make that all clear. So might this might need to be the next tutorial I go through, but I probably do that as part of my wild networking series. And then this. Oh, this is the learning path. These are the same links. Okay, so let's check on that command. Ah, okay, so the command actually went through right this time. So we got one more command to go. And this actually migrates the database. Oh, actually it upgrades the database, which surprises me. Thought we were going to migrate it. Okay, so now both are staging. Oh, so same issue. That's okay. I'm just going to take the L on this. I really don't understand enough about what's going on to troubleshoot this, and I've had plenty of victories. I guess it's time to take an L. I've just had too many things I've had to go down the Google rabbit hole on. I can't win them all, so this is the battle I'm gonna choose to lose. Now both our staging and production sites have their databases set up and are migrated and ready to go. When you apply a new migration to the production database, there could be downtime. If this is an issue, you can set up database replication by adding a follower, commonly known as a slave, database. For more on this, check out the official Heroku documentation. Conclusion, that's it for part 2. If you'd like to dig deeper into Flask, check out our accompanying video series that shows you how to build Flask web app step by step. In part 3, we're going to build the word counting functionality and have it sent to a task queue to deal with the longer running word count processing. See you next time. Cheers. Okay, so that's it for this part 2 of the learning path. So stay tuned for part 3 of the learning path. I might have to go back and troubleshoot this. I think what I'll end up doing is I think all of the files. Yeah, so if you click um, here, you can grab the code so far used in the tutorial from the repo. So we've got the code from part 1, part 2. We'll be doing part 3 next. So I can just simply grab the code, install everything, and just get the code to work that way. I think that's probably what I'll do, and then we'll just follow along with the application installed from the source code. All right, so that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one.